up, YouTube? I'm Mark Ryder. This is Cosmic Rider TV. Thank you for tuning in. This is my first video. Please hit the like and subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate your support. Thank you very much. Blessings. Today I want to talk about knife crime, because it's a very touchy subject for me, because I myself, I've been a victim of knife crime. Back in 2004, I was stabbed 12 times. I've got riddled with scars all over my body due to wounds all over, which I've had. I had to have 2 operations of microsurgery for radial nerve damage. I was paralyzed for 3 years, couldn't use the left side of my body. I had to have plastic surgery, 7 years of physiotherapy, and a lifetime of PTSD and mental health problems, flashbacks. You know, it's devastating what knife crime can do to your life. I've got friends and family that have been stabbed. Some of my closest friends have been victims of knife crime and been stabbed, you know. So, you know, violence was a part of growing up in London. If you're born in the 80s, you know that, you know, London was a war zone at one point. So, you know, we've overcome quite a lot. And there's a story that really touches me, and it really brought back a lot of that trauma. James Bascoe Smith was a young guy. I think got stabbed last year. We're going to look at the story now. And in a totally unprovoked attack that he had nothing to do with any gang violence. And he's suffered horrific life-changing injuries. Like myself, you know, my injuries were life-changing. I'll go into the circumstances surrounding that in later videos. It's a bit too heavy to touch on right now, but I want to raise a bit of awareness and just highlight the aftermath and the devastation that violence causes, and encourage young brothers and young men to choose a different way, choose a different path. You know, you don't cause permanent damage based on temporary emotions. We've got to learn to control those emotions, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, thank you for tuning in, guys. You know, I really appreciate you. So yeah, thank you for tuning in. And it's my first video upload, so I'm a little bit nervous. I will be upgrading my equipment. I will be upgrading my microphone. So, you know, it's a project that, you know, we will advance as we go on. But I appreciate your support, and you know, it's heartfelt that you're here watching this today. Thank you very much. You're in the right place. Let's take a look at this video.
James Bascoe Smith is one of a handful of people in London who has survived a deadly pattern of knife injury.
It's just cold.
On Tuesday, the 23rd of February last year, James left his mum on the doorstep for a few minutes. He was test riding a new bike. In that time, he was run over, then stabbed repeatedly. An innocent victim caught between 2 rival gangs. Suddenly, a young boy into gymnastics and his DJ decks was having his chest opened by medics on the street. His 2 attackers have been sentenced to life in prison. The judge said Taquain Lewis and Leon Rashid had been searching for a target to murder. The attack triggered by a drill music video and online provocation between the gangs.
James was in court today, but he gave his impact statement through a video message. I did not deserve this, he told the court. I just want to know why they did this to me. His attackers watched from the dock.
There's somebody outside that door with him 24/7.
I first met the family on the helipad of King's College Hospital, exactly 1 week after the stabbing.
I had a FaceTime from him with him on the floor, like telling me, "Mum, I've been stabbed." Yes, we have got justice. It still doesn't change the position James is in. It doesn't change the lifestyle that we're now having to live.
This is James's journey and the story of his family and friends. They too are the victims of violence.
James, what do you think about when you think of the future?
5 knives were found on the road where James was attacked. His liver was lacerated and his lung was punctured. He lost a significant amount of blood, which led to brain damage.
So at the early stages, we had family counselling when this first happened, and it was a huge help.
But the help wasn't accessible. Lisa's sister happened to know a counsellor, and moving to a specially adapted house was a struggle.
Up to this point, we still kind of feel like we've been hard done by, because it's everything that we want to do, we're having to fight for it. Oh gosh, we had such a rough move with housing. It was very much just like, well, we can't help you. And we was trying to explain to them, but if we was a member of a gang and we had to flee our current area, the council or whoever it was would pick us up and move us out of borough quite easily. But instead, for us, it was because we weren't a gang member, there weren't no right channels that the council...
And this is the thing that was so bad, so sad about this case, is that the council knew, the local authorities knew that the area was plagued by gang violence, and the family requested to move. They asked the local authority if they could move. They alerted them to the problems that I guess James must have been having. You know, it must have been some indication that he was having problems in the area. You know, as we can see, the child, he had no affiliations. He had no gang affiliations. He was just in the wrong place at the wrong time, and that's what's scary. That's what's concerning. Is that children are being dragged into these situations, you know, just because of a postcode or being in the wrong place at the wrong time, you know.
Cousin James
carry on.
grapples with the realities of violence in the community. She's 5.
Currently, Madison's in therapy because of the impact. A few months after this happened, we was at home getting ready for church, and Maddie said, Mum, there's people outside, they're screaming and shouting, and there was an incident, and she said they're going to come and kill me. I don't want to go outside.
We sent freedom of information requests to the 29 major trauma units in the UK, asking for figures on the numbers of 16 to 25-year-olds left with life-changing injuries from a weapon. We found the data on life-changing injuries difficult to access, and it's acknowledged that when numbers are being tracked, there's no uniformity within the system. So, for example, at what age do you stop being a young person? That changes from one organisation to the next. So it's little wonder that families are struggling to access mental health support or, say, housing support when the system doesn't measure what it needs to provide.
We very seldom focus on the actual survivors. When you're a survivor from this type of extreme trauma, you survive with consequences.
Duncan Bew was James's surgeon.
I think if there's better visibility in life-changing injuries, I think it could make a real impact in terms of services, to be able to wrap around patients, to provide a continuum of support, and not just focus on those early days when they first present with trauma. When we look at the patients that we saw during the COVID period, we had about a 40% reduction in trauma victims coming through the hospital during that period, but then we're now back up to pre-pandemic levels.
James's teenage sanctuary can also feel lonely at times.
How often do you speak to your friends? Do they ring?
Not as often as you would like, eh? I know James has had a couple of close friends which, you know, they've dropped out of college. The younger ones, I think we definitely need to look out for them a lot more and, you know, work with them, see what things we can put in place, because I think they're just forgotten about.
There are times when a gloom descends on the family, triggered by money worries or flashbacks. But Lisa says overall, they're the lucky ones, because this support and encouragement is without price.
Ria Chatterjee there with James's story.
And there you have it. Heartbreaking story, man. That was difficult to watch. That was uncomfortable for me to watch. And I'm sure there's other people that have been touched by violence as well that found that quite difficult to watch as well. We just have to always keep stories like this in our mind and remember that, you know, the devastation that we can cause by making a split-second wrong decision. We don't have to always respond aggressively. Even though this is not really gang related, it can show you the devastation that violence causes. And violence happens every day all over the world. Like these sort of things happen. Violence and knife crime is more common in London than we realise. I think there's probably a couple stabbings every week in London. Probably every day nationwide, I'd say. So, you know, it's things need to change, man. Things need to change, and the leaders of our community, the public figures, even the entertainers, you know, I think they said something there about this was inspired by a drill music, which I'm skeptical about because they're quick to point the finger at, you know, drill music and hip hop. Yes, I do think it is a factor. The message in drill music is destructive. I'm not gonna lie. It's not. It doesn't promote positivity at all. So yes, it is detrimental. It is detrimental to the community, and it's not even just in the black community. This is in our society. This is a societal problem across all races. You know. So we need to do more for the kids, and we need to be careful what we take in, careful what type of music we're exposing ourselves to, you know, because this stuff is quite influential. It's not quite, it's very influential. This drill music, this type of gangster rap. I love rap, you know. I love rap. I grew up on rap. I grew up on gangster rap, but you know, it will be wrong to dismiss the fact that it is having a negative impact on our youth today. Yeah. Anyway, I'll leave it at that. Thank you for tuning in and stay tuned for my next video. Please hit the subscribe and hit that like button, please. I would greatly appreciate it. Love.